cooked up, glazed over, scorched, sliced, stretched, and twisted. Making a holiday dinner isn't just about Mom's homemade cooking. It's about the technology, innovations, and clever imaginations behind the creation of the holiday dishes we love best. These are the stories of American Eats holiday foods. It's the season we wait for every year. Pilgrims and parades, jingle bells and Jack Frost, gift-giving and family gatherings, and of course, lots and lots of food. Welcome to the holidays. From Thanksgiving to New Year's, it's almost 40 days of festive feasting, gorging, gobbling, guzzling, and slurping. It's an American cornucopia of good-natured gluttony and impressive indigestion. And everybody's got their favorite holiday dish.
I would say the basics would have to be turkey stuffing and cranberry sauce. If you didn't have that, you are not celebrating Thanksgiving, and please don't try to claim that you are.
What is Thanksgiving or Christmas without stuffing?
Sweet potatoes.
Spinach balls.
Really good fruitcake.
What the hell is a fruitcake?
Red beans and rice.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire.
Oyster andouille cornbread dressing.
It's all good. If all you need is a fork and a knife, it's all good.
But behind the bounty is the multi-billion-dollar business responsible for making the holidays happen. Every year, American companies crank out nearly 700 million pounds of cranberries. They boil, stretch, and twist more than 1.8 billion candy canes. And to satisfy our holiday turkey taste buds, they raise 250 million of the flavorful fowl, of which almost a third are consumed in November and December. A process best exemplified by the Jenny O Turkey Store.
During the holidays, our production does step up considerably.
We have the capabilities of doing 85,000 birds a day, which is equivalent to roughly 1,300,000 pounds of live weight a day.
The Thanksgiving turkey that you're used to consuming at the holidays, that turkey is a hen, it's a female bird, and generally you'll buy it in a 12 to 14 pound range.
At Jenny O and most other commercial farms, hens are artificially inseminated to produce around 90 eggs during a 25-week cycle. Most hens go through just one cycle a holiday season. In order to end up with the best-tasting bird, the turkey is fed a diet of corn, soybeans, and vitamin-infused water.
We don't use hormones or steroids in our product. It's a wholesome diet that our turkeys are fed. We have 2 research and development facilities where we continuously look at the diets that our turkeys are fed so that they can provide the optimum form of turkey and the optimum size of turkey.
After 15 weeks, the result is a bird bred to match the American tastes. Huge, broad breasts packed with tender meat and weighing around 15 pounds. According to the National Turkey Federation, 96% of Americans eat turkey on Thanksgiving. Yet as popular as it might be, the turkey is one misunderstood bird. For instance, many people believe that the turkey was served at the first recorded harvest feast in 1621, later called Thanksgiving.
No way. I mean, the records show that the Pilgrims ate a nondescript fowl.
Another popular myth says Ben Franklin wanted to make the turkey, not the bald eagle, the national bird.
There is no way that Ben Franklin would have ever nominated the turkey as our national symbol. Ben Franklin didn't really love the turkey, he just hated the bald eagle.
But the turkey didn't become our national symbol.
There were, by best estimates, millions of wild turkeys in North America when the colonists came. Many early descriptions are of people taking their muskets out the front door, firing a musket, ending up with 2 or 3 turkeys, and then going back into the house and then preparing them for dinner.
Along with the wild turkeys, there were turkeys that had been domesticated by the Europeans.
Domesticated turkeys weighed about 20 pounds. Wild turkeys could weigh up to 60 pounds. Turkeys can fly, but for a very short distance. The 60-pound ones can't fly at all. So they were the ones that were captured first and were eaten first. But because they were so easy to catch, they disappeared very quickly, and the domesticated turkey began to replace them.
The domesticated turkey took center stage in the American imagination when President Abraham Lincoln declared Thanksgiving a national holiday in 1863.
At that point, the price of turkey drops dramatically. You have a family holiday, and you need something big to be able to serve everybody, and the turkey costs less than almost any other meat that you could have bought at the time. You would pay $1 for a turkey regardless of whether it weighed 12 pounds or whether it weighed 20 pounds.
Even though most turkeys sold to the public were already plucked, turkey breeders came to care a great deal about the color and beauty of the feathers. A big reason? Turkeys were starting to be exhibited at poultry shows and state fairs, where competition to create prize-winning turkeys was fierce. This drove many sellers to breed their turkeys with beautiful feathers. And as the 19th century was ending, one particular breed was well established as the gold standard, the bronze turkey.
The bronze turkey was popular and had these beautiful bronze feathers.
Compared to today's turkeys, the bronze had a smaller breast and more dark meat, but that was about to change.
And it really isn't until the early 20th century that the turkey growers look around and say, no one buys turkeys because of the feather, they buy it because of the meat. And at this point is when the shift goes from selling a turkey as a unit to selling a turkey by the pound.
By the 1930s, farmers were breeding turkeys not for their feathers, but for their meat, giving rise to the broad-breasted white turkey. But there was a problem.
As these turkey breasts got bigger, the turkeys became less mobile. Not only could they not walk, they couldn't breed naturally.
In 1934, the United States Department of Agriculture developed the first practical method of artificial insemination for turkeys, thereby making it possible to concentrate on breeding more broad-breasted turkeys for market.
One of the most popular names they came up with was the Bronze Mae West, because the birds, like Mae West, were developed frontally.
By the 1950s, turkey production was at an all-time high, but these modern turkeys with more white meat were missing something.
The broad-breasted white is virtually tasteless.
That's because the majority of the bird was white meat, which is less flavorful than dark.
The dark meat has lipids in it, fats. When you cook these fats, they make the dark meat tastier and juicier.
The broad-breasted whites had another problem besides lack of flavor, dryness. But don't blame the bird, blame the cook.
In the past, with the wild turkey, they required a lot of cooking. That was tough meat. With the introduction of the large-breasted turkeys, the average American housewife was cooking the turkey longer than she should have. And as a result, it was coming out drier.
Today, your holiday turkey arrives ready to go in the oven with little fanfare. But how it gets that way is an exacting process. Just ask the guys at Jenny O.
The birds that you've seen were processed about 3.5 hours ago. They've been chilled down to 35, 36 degrees. They grade the bird here, so everything that is A grade comes down this here scale.
Because birds are different sizes, they have to be sorted. Then the like-weighted birds are kept together, and the machine is programmed to process that particular size. Once the proper size is set, the birds are ready for packing according to the consumer's orders.
Some of the product gets a pop-up timer, and that's put into the thickest muscle part of the bird.
Invented in the 1950s, the thermometer has an outer casing wrapped around a pop-up stick, a spring, and a soft metal alloy. When the temperature hits 185 degrees Fahrenheit, the exact temperature needed to cook a turkey, the alloy melts, freeing the stick which pops up. Once the thermometers are added, the turkey is put into a bag that is vacuumized. The turkey then moves to the net room, where the bag and netting are tightened around the product to give it a uniform appearance. The turkey is then either frozen, which takes about 22 hours at below zero temperature, or sent to the grocery store fresh.
If you're buying a fresh turkey, that turkey was generally processed anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks prior to the time that it was consumed.
While companies like Jenny O can provide farm-fed turkeys to your table, the one thing they can't do for you is decide how to cook it. These days, some people are blazing a new path to the holiday table. That's right. This ain't your grandmother's turkey.
Deep frying a turkey. Nothing screams the holidays like stainless steel, boiling oil, propane, beer, and cigarettes. It may be dangerous, but the Pilgrims live dangerously too.
The tradition of deep frying a turkey originated in the South, though no one knows for sure when the practice got started. By the early 20th century, deep-fried turkeys were being served at large outdoor events like family reunions and church dinners.
The best that I have been able to discover, it's a Cajun thing.
Right as it can be.
Some Cajun figured out you put a bunch of oil into a pot, and then you take that turkey, inject it with the marinades, and lower it into the pot. The turkey cooks for 3 minutes a pound.
12-pound turkey will take you anywhere from 36 to 40 minutes.
When you fry the turkey, the skin seals up tight, cooking the turkey in its own juices, tenderizing itself and becoming very moist.
I think anybody who cooks a turkey in any other way than frying is crazy out of their mind.
Crazy or not, the deep-fried turkey remained a Southern specialty until the mid-1990s, when its popularity started to catch on with the rest of the country.
The best thing about deep frying is that a big vat of boiling oil attracts men.
The men drink a cocktail, gather around that big fire. You know, it's almost like a caveman thing. It's irresistible.
But that caveman thing can have some serious drawbacks. Underwriters Laboratories is an independent, non-profit safety testing organization.
We recently tested several models of deep-fat turkey fryers and find that this method of cooking can be very hazardous.
If you've never fried a turkey before and you get your grease, say 375, you're taking a turkey that's coming from the ice box, cold. It has all kind of juices in it, just water from the turkey itself. You're putting it in that hot grease. If you drop it in that grease right all at one time, the bad reaction between the water and the hot grease.
Any oil that spills out of the pot can easily fall onto the flame, igniting the fryer.
You need a lot of knowledge before you begin working on your fried turkey.
Deep frying the turkey safely is one way to reinvent a fabled holiday table staple. Turducken is another.
Turducken literally is a chicken inside a duck inside a turkey with dressing on the outside.
Also called the Chucky, turducken is another Southern invention, albeit one with European roots.
In the Renaissance, a cavity would have been filled with other fowl and other animals, and in addition to stuffing. So you debone the turkey itself, you would debone a duck, whatever else you wanted to put inside the turkey.
In modern times, several people have claimed bragging rights for the creation of the turducken. A Bear's specialty meats in Maurice, Louisiana is one of them.
There's a lot of people that say that they were the first one to make it. They have a lot of different stories. We got a pretty plain and simple story, and it's never changed. We opened during the holiday season in 1985. An old farmer walked in. I don't know to this day who he was. He just walked in with a turkey, a duck, and a chicken that he had killed out of his backyard.
The farmer asked a bear to debone the birds and put the smaller ones inside the turkey, along with some sausage dressing.
I thought he was crazy asking for that, but we did it. He ended up not being crazy. To make a turducken from scratch, you take a chicken, a duck, and a turkey, and you debone all three birds, lay out the turkey, season it, put a little pork stuffing, lay out the duck, season it, put a little pork stuffing, lay out the chicken, season it, put cornbread dressing, and then you fold them up. Now here's the tough part, getting it all sewed up and not making a mess.
The turducken ends up weighing 16 to 18 pounds when it's done. While turkey in its various forms is still by far the most popular centerpiece on the holiday table, ham is a definite second, particularly in the South.
Being from the South, we're all about the pig. The South has always been perhaps a little less economically favorable. And the pig is really poor man's meat.
But one man would propel the ham beyond regional boundaries, and in the process, transform it into a holiday superstar. His name, Harry Hanslar from Michigan. In the 1940s, he decided the world needed a more efficient ham.
Traditionally, the housewife would take that ham home and have to wrestle to try to get those slices off the bone and onto a presentation platter. So his idea was to create the ultimate inconvenience. That was a ham that would literally fall off the bone in uniform slices.
Hanslar started to sketch out his ideas on paper. He then set to work making a prototype.
And that prototype was made with assorted pieces and parts from his basement.
The simple idea involved much trial and error, which Hanslar captured in these rare home movies. He placed the large end of the ham, known as the butt, inside a pie tin and secured it with brackets. He then created a mechanism for rotating the ham by attaching a hand drill to spin the tin. A broom handle attached to an oscillator and blade acted as a lever, pushing the blade into the meat. Starting at the top of the ham, the device created one continuous slice around the bone. Hanslar tried to sell his invention directly to the large meatpacking companies, but no one was buying.
He received rejection letters that would say, "No, we're not interested in your machine. We're not interested in a device of this type."
Undeterred, Hanslar received a patent in 1949 and a second in 1952, but the rejection letters continued.
And in conclusion, there will not be any further action taken with respect to the purchase of equipment, as our people are not yet ready to go into this type of business at this time.
Eventually, Hanslar stopped trying to sell the machine and used it to make his own hams. In 1957, he opened the Honey Baked Ham Company store in Detroit, selling a product he called the spiral ham. It wasn't just pre-sliced, it also had a great taste. Today, some 400 Honey Baked Ham stores across the country sell millions of spiral-cut hams every holiday season. When Hanslar's patent expired in 1981, other companies began to make their own versions of the spiral ham. Smithfield, one of the largest, cranks out more than 45,000 hams a day from their Plant City, Florida facility during the holiday season.
It's a secret recipe that consists of a combination of sugar, salt, very special flavors that give it a unique flavor.
The hams are processed whole and usually weigh about 18 pounds. But before the hams can be spiral cut, they're cooked and smoked in a massive operation encompassing 10 smokehouses that hold up to 23,000 hams at a time. During the smoking process, the hams cook for 12 to 14 hours to an internal temperature of 148 degrees. The smoke is then pulled into the room through a generator.
Depending upon the type of ham that we're producing will determine the type of chips that we use. It'll be either hickory or hardwood to give it that deep, robust, smoky flavor.
Because the heat inside the smokehouse is a gentle, dry heat, it wicks away the surface moisture of the ham, allowing it to absorb the smoke. And when the hams emerge from the smokehouse, they're a golden brown color. The hams spend about 48 hours in a cooling chamber before it's time for the spiral cutting process. Smithfield maintains 73 spiral cutters. They operate on the same principle as Hanslar's original. The ham is clamped on both ends, then turned in a circle as a reciprocating knife moves up the height of the ham. It cuts 5 slices to the inch. 2 minutes later, the entire ham is sliced. Once that's done, the whole ham is cut in half by a bandsaw. 30% of Smithfield hams are pre-glazed. There are several ways to glaze a ham. At Smithfield, they bag the ham first, then shoot 6 to 8 ounces of glaze into the bag before it's sealed. Other companies like Dearborn glaze the ham before packaging. The glaze is sealed using a blowtorch. Either way, these days the spiral ham is holding its own as a bona fide main dish for the holiday season. cranberry sauce. Most people only eat it once a year, and that's on their holiday table. Despite the rarity with which we embrace it, there's something endearing about the stuff.
Cranberry jelly in the South is a big deal.
I do have a great fondness for jellied cranberry sauce out the can.
You know, you somehow you get it out of the can and it slurps out, and there it is on the table.
It's like dog food when you push it out of a dog food can.
Odd.
It holds its shape and reveals those rings around the inside of the can. My recommendation is slice it thin. No one will notice.
Like so many of our favorite festive foods, its origins are shrouded in mystery. And like its holiday cohort turkey, cranberries are indigenous to America.
Cranberries were one of the few foods that were actually domesticated by American Indians on Eastern America.
Cranberries were used by the Native Americans to make a survival cake called pemmican, which is a mixture of grains, venison, animal fats, and cranberries all pounded together and formed into a cake. It's kind of like an olden-day granola bar.
Introduced by the Indians, colonists ate the berries in a variety of ways. Sailors even packed their boats with the vitamin C-rich cranberries to ward off scurvy. The sugar-packed sauces and jellies we enjoy today are post-colonial inventions.
Sugar was very costly in colonial times, and as the sugar price declines, then you begin to have cranberry sauce. It really isn't until the mid-19th century that the cranberry sauce that we think of survived.
Then in 1912, a Massachusetts cranberry grower named Marcus Uran would change cranberry history.
Marcus Uran began the Ocean Spray Cooperative with two other growers, Abel Dennison Makepeace and Elizabeth Lee from New Jersey. And Marcus convinced them that it would be a great idea to get other growers together to extend the use of cranberries throughout the year.
Our cranberries are rich in powerful nutrients.
The first bottle of Ocean Spray cranberry sauce rolled out of the factory in South Hampton, Massachusetts in 1930. Canned sauce was introduced in 1941. Today, Ocean Spray produces both canned sauce and whole berries for the holidays. Fresh cranberries are processed through a dry harvest method. Once done by hand in the early 1900s, harvesting is now done by a machine, which resembles a push lawnmower.
That has a comb in the very front of it, and we simply comb through the dry vines.
Once picked, they're put through a rigorous three-part testing process. Ocean Spray tests the cranberries on three factors: shape, size, and color. The first test is all about the bounce.
These machines are called Bailey separators. They were all made in the 1920s. They're based on a staircase system. And back in the 1800s, a farmer was carrying a box full of cranberries when he dropped them on some stairs. He noticed all the good ones bounced down the stairs and the bad ones popped right on the stairs. So as you can see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 chances for fresh fruit. If they can't jump at all, they're going on to compost.
The 32 Bailey separators can sort out 800 pounds of cranberries an hour. Those that bounce are then sent forward to their next challenge.
The next thing we want to test is for color. We want to get just the best red, dark red cranberries we can. So we want to take out all the lights, the greens, the browns, anything that's not dark red. This vibrator conveyor here flattens them out, drops them on this high-speed in-feed conveyor, which brings them into this electronic optical sorter.
Unlike the decidedly old-school Bailey bounce separators, the electronic optical sorter is much more high-tech.
This optical sorter has a camera on the top and a camera on the bottom.
The rejected berries are blown from the conveyor belt by a blast of air.
There's 126 air ejectors across as the cranberries fly right underneath. When a camera sees an off-colored cranberry, it'll say air ejector number 82, fire. Air ejector number 1, fire. It'll knock out that white, brown, whatever we don't want. It sounds like a machine gun fire. That's how fast this thing goes.
Although it looks like a blur to human eyes, the optical sorter can view 25,000 pounds of cranberries an hour. The final test for cranberries is visual. Using black lights to highlight the paler berries, hand sorters discard any errant cranberries that may have snuck through. By the end of the testing process, 60% of the cranberries are ready to be bagged and sent to the supermarket. Only a small percentage of cranberries are dry harvested. To make the ever-popular canned cranberry sauce, Ocean Spray uses a method called wet harvesting. That's when the dry cranberry bogs are flooded, then harvested.
There's approximately 10,000 acres of cranberry bogs that we have to flood, harvest, and deliver.
Harvesting fruit and water began in the 1950s when a Washington state farmer noticed something unique about cranberries. They float. Inside each berry are 4 cells known as bladders, full of air.
And it allows the berry to pop to the surface and float. Otherwise, they just sink.
In order to cover the vast number of bogs needed to be harvested, today's farmers enter the water on tractor-like machines called egg beaters.
This is the typical Massachusetts cranberry harvester, and this is the main component. This is what we refer to as the egg beater. It's approximately 8 feet wide. The berries are floating. The berries are trying to float to the surface, but they're attached to the vine, and these beaters will agitate the water or knock the cranberries off. The berries will float to the surface.
Once they're collected, the cranberries are sent to the canning processing plant.
Each year we process about 11 billion cranberries. The first step in the process starts here. The cranberries come straight off the bog. We unload them and then we dump them into a hydrolift. This is a water process where we clean the berries and then they're sent upstairs to make jelly.
Whole berries are combined with water and press cake, a pectin-rich substance which assists in the gelling process.
The press cake's frozen, so we put it on a spike where we break up the press cake, dump it into a hopper, and then it's put into that cooking kettle, where it's all made into a puree.
Once pureed, the sauce is sent through pulpers, large metal augers which remove the berry skins, seeds, and press cake. Sugar is then added as the sauce is brought to a rolling boil for 10 minutes. Then it goes through a series of tests where it's checked for consistency, color, and sugar levels. Once the levels have been checked, it's ready to be canned, cooled, and packaged.
We haven't really changed the recipe for cranberry sauce. It's still cranberries, water, and sweetener. I guess when you have a good thing, you just kind of stick with it.
Side dishes. To some, they are more important than the main dish. They inspire passionate loyalty.
You cannot have a traditional Southern holiday meal without ambrosia, gumbo, pecans in some form or another, maybe pecan pie, whiskey, a little whiskey sprinkled on top of everything.
And sometimes even fierce disagreement.
The question of whether you're going to put marshmallows in the sweet potatoes has been known to divide generation from generation.
But just about everyone agrees there's one side that's a vital part of every holiday menu: stuffing. A dish that's actually older than America.
Stuffing appears in cookbooks published in the 15th century. Wherever there was a piece of meat that had a cavity in it, there was something to stuff into it.
The original stuffings were made from meat, and while we're not sure when bread stuffing entered the picture, there is a compelling theory why it did.
In the Middle Ages, most people did not eat off of plates. They ate off of something known as a bread trencher. Bread soaked up all of the juices from the food, and then you might eat the bread trencher. I think the idea of using stuffing to absorb some of the juices of the meat is in some ways a throwback to that.
Whatever its provenance, by the time the colonists made it to America, stuffing was all about the bread.
In American households where there was a lot of baking going on, you probably had a lot of stale bread, and it was an easy thing to break up and put it into crumbs, get it in the turkey, and then you have this delicious thing that really made it a festive event.
But making homemade stuffing was a time-consuming task. That is, until 1948, when a woman named Sophie Cubison was the first to come up with the stuffing mix.
You would add the liquid, the broth and the butter, onions, but the actual stuffing mix would be there for you.
It was an instant success and became the most popular poultry stuffing in the West Coast.
Mrs. Cubison's is still around today, offering cornbread stuffing, seasoned dressing, and herb seasoned cube stuffing. But her invention was only the first step towards a stuffing revolution.
After the Second World War, we see something that's going to be a trend in this country, and that's corporations inventing foods, making them more convenient.
The goal in all those food companies is to invent the next great food item that Americans will say, you know, I can't live without this.
Major food corporations set up test kitchens for new products and staff them with women possessing a college degree in a brand new discipline called home economics.
And they were the ones who made an enormous number of the inventions and developments in canned, processed, packaged, and dried foods.
One of these inventive women was Ruth Seams. In 1971, she and some colleagues worked on a stuffing that could be made outside the bird. Seams knew the key to the stuffing wasn't taste, but the bread.
If the bread was too big, it would not absorb enough moisture. If it was too small, it would just turn mushy in the pot. The size that worked was a piece of bread that was the size of the eraser on a pencil.
In 1973, the stuffing was introduced to the public under the name Stovetop. It was an immediate hit.
Stovetop stuffing appealed to our wish for speed, sanitation, and a kind of touch-me-not attitude towards food that is very characteristic of modern Americans.
Today, Stovetop sells more than 60 million boxes of stuffing during Thanksgiving alone. But stuffing wasn't the only side dish to emerge from the corporate kitchen. In the 1950s, Campbell's was trying to convince consumers how helpful soup could be around the holidays. So they turned to their test kitchen.
In 1955, Dorcas Riley was in charge of Campbell's Test Kitchens. Dorcas wanted to come up with a holiday recipe that would combine two ingredients that were found in most American kitchens: green beans and Campbell's cream of mushroom soup.
Riley believed the best marriage of the two ingredients would be in the form of a casserole.
Back then we had a scoring system of 1 to 5. 1 meant that the recipe was not very good at all, and 5 was perfect. We started with green bean. It probably was in the 3 area. Needed a little zip. We added some soy and some black pepper. At that point, too, we put part of the French fried onions in and the rest on top, and it came out 4+.
They added this to their marketing brochures and their cookbooklets that they distributed to housewives, and it was an immediate success.
It was like this collective aha echoed all over the country. It's a little more festive and interesting than just a dish of green beans, so it has that kind of holiday oomph.
Campbell's Green Bean Casserole. Make some holiday magic.
What Campbell did not expect is that the Durkee Company would introduce Durkee French fried onions in a can.
The Durkee Green Bean Casserole, made only with Durkee French fried onions.
And what a success that was.
Break away from dull, boring, ordinary casseroles.
It's now a culinary icon itself.
I was very surprised when I first learned about the great success of this recipe. That's just what we did in the Campbell kitchen. We produced great recipes, and this happened to be probably one of the greatest.
A glimpse into one of the many confectioner factories is like a greatest hits of holiday sweets. Pumpkin pies, Yule logs, peppermint ribbon candy made the old-fashioned way, and a favorite of both the naughty and the nice, chocolate Santas. But there's one sweet above all others that truly says it's Christmas.
Candy canes are a really important icon of Christmas.
People tend to identify a lot of special memories with candy canes.
According to legend, the first candy cane was invented in 1670 by an ingenious choir master at the Cologne Cathedral in Germany. To keep children quiet during services, he gave out white sugar candies, which he bent to resemble a shepherd's crook. But in America, we improved upon the idea. In the early 20th century, confectioners added peppermint flavor and a distinctive red swirl.
I think after a while, the plain white stick started to become a little boring, so the red stripes were added to tie this particular candy much more closely to the Christmas season. This did become the candy symbol of Christmas.
Today, that candy symbol of Christmas is alive and well at companies like Hammond's Candies and the Spangler Candy Company. The making of these sweet holiday treats starts with corn syrup and sugar. It's cooked at a temperature of 288 degrees for 4 minutes. And of course, the peppermint flavoring.
This is the cooling process, just basically cooling that candy from the 288 degrees down to about 190 degrees. Then once it comes off the mixer here, we put it onto this puller. The puller will make it stark white because of the air that's incorporated.
It takes 45 seconds of pulling for the color to turn white. The massive misshapen candy form is then loaded into a batch holder where it's spun until it begins to take the proper shape for those signature stripes to be applied.
What you see them doing here is making the stripes. In the peppermint batch, you have 2 solid red stripes and then the pinstripe, and then they'll take that log and then put it into the batch roller. That is a 100-pound batch. We get 3,200 canes out of every batch.
After striping, the candy canes are whittled down to the proper size and fed through the twister. 2 belts run in opposite directions, and as the rope feeds through, it twists. Each cane gets 5 twists.
Then it goes through a cutter, cuts it off into the appropriate length.
Once striped and cut, the candy canes are just about ready for their signature element, the crook. At a traditional shop like Hammond's, they still make candy canes by hand, cutting and crooking them to size. Spangler's employs a mechanized method. The canes are first wrapped before being given their distinctive shape.
Most people think a cane is probably crooked and then wrapped. We actually wrap it and then crook it. It's got to be warm. If it's too cold, then it'll actually break instead of crooking. So it's got to be just the right temperature or you'll have problems.
Once properly crooked, the completed candy canes are quality checked and packaged.
The way the process works is you'll see the 2 lights, and that is a camera that actually shows the exact location of where the cane is at on the black belt, which then goes to the robot.
The robot then picks up 3 canes at a time for packaging.
We make 1.5 million canes a day in our Bryan facility, and we make them all year. We never stop. So it's Christmas at Spangler's all year long.
While the candy cane is one of the most beloved symbols of the holiday season, one of the most controversial is surely the fruitcake. It's been fiercely defended.
The taste? The taste is exquisite.
And curiously defined.
They're good for a doorstop, I guess, after a little bit, but that's about it.
It's been celebrated, defiled,
Smell is overwhelming!
and given away.
You always stash it away in the back of your cupboard or re-gift it, actually.
One of the quintessential symbols of Christmas indulgence is also the most mysterious.
It's just a lot going on in there and a lot of dried stuff that I have no idea what it is.
When you get down to basics, a fruitcake is quite simple. Eggs, sugar, flour, shortening, liquor, nuts, and candied fruit. But fruitcake is so much more than the sum of its parts.
Mixing fruits, nuts, grains, sweeteners really goes back to our earliest recorded history.
The ancient Egyptians put the fruitcake into the tombs for the pharaohs to eat during the afterlife.
Eventually, fruitcake took a more celebratorial role, being made for weddings and other communal celebrations.
Making a fruitcake for the holiday seasons is just a natural progression.
The actual giving of fruitcakes started in the late 1700s in England. The British would pass out fruitcake to poor women on the street that would go around and sing Christmas carols.
In colonial America, the tradition stuck. Fruitcakes were made as seasonal gifts. That is, when they weren't defending American liberty.
Rumor has it that during the Revolutionary War, a captain came up to George Washington and he asked them, "What do I do, sir? I don't have any more ammunition." And George Washington said, "You have fruitcakes, don't you? Take those fruitcakes and put them to good use." And the story that I read said that many British soldiers lost their life to fruitcake.
These days, no one is losing their lives to fruitcakes. But for some reason, the dessert is still the Rodney Dangerfield of holiday foods. It just gets no respect. But not at Swiss Colony, who since the 1950s
makes 325,000 fruitcakes every year.
The cakes are made off-season, then put aside for about 4 to 5 months so all the flavors can mingle.
We make fruitcakes from January to June. The idea is that we make them at the time of the year in which they have their maximum ability to age.
During the holiday season, Swiss Colony's regular staff of 1,200 increases by 500% to meet all the seasonal orders. From Christmas sweets to deep-fried treats to all those delicious side dishes, it's our love for festive foods that make all those holiday moments memorable.
Americans are obsessed with food, and they're obsessed with their holiday food and their holiday traditions.
It's not the food itself that makes a holiday meal. It doesn't matter whether it's made from scratch or it comes out of a can or a package. It's family being there. That's what it's all about.